expansion now.
Welcome to the stream.
So
But
the guy in the Forsaken trailers as Cade is the guy who's the new faction leader
no.
and is the ghost.
The character Cade Six is dead, but
Yeah.
a lot of Forsaken is like flashbacks of you dealing with Cade and Cade's story. Um, and Nolan North did the voiceover work for Cade in that expansion.
So you get the character's story after he dies.
Yes, he was always pretty
Sweet.
much.
That's a lot of storytelling. That would not be the first time.
He was like the mysterious rogue character of Destiny.
So he was mysterious. You didn't know much about his backstory. So what can you tell me about the backstory of the other two faction leaders then?
About the same.
So
You learn more about Ikora in
I'm so glad.
in the Osiris DLC. So you kind of learn about her interactions with Osiris, who was her mentor.
Oh, of course they changed the app around.
They haven't really gotten to Zavali yet.
wasn't that guy in like the trailer for the base game?
I feel like the thing you're saying is not entirely accurate because they do a ton of like junk with all like in the side story of everything.
Yeah, I mean, if you play through all the you get to know them pretty well. They do have their own distinct personalities, and you can kind of infer their motives through their actions. But as far as storytelling goes, I think Osiris was
And infinite ammo, of course.
character development for Ikora because nobody liked her, but she's more of a she's a little more fleshed out.
Is she more of a warlock now?
Yes.
Whoop.
Well, I mean,
Warlocks.
Morlocks.
she's always been very much a warlock because she's not really driven by her emotions at all, and that seems to be the case for all
Space
of the warlocks.
wizards.
Yeah. Whereas the hunters are generally loners who kind of like fight to do the right thing, and then the titans are the shield, so they're stoic protectors.
So you said unemotional for one of the classes, and then to differentiate it from the other, you said stoic. So how are those different?
They're not.
Well, what do we?
All right.
do in our campaign.
Yeah. So Destiny 2 aside over there. We gotta real quick do Joe's HP. Joe, are you taking the average plus your
Oh, baby,
bonifier?
I'm gonna roll this.
You gotta roll it. All right. You can
Rolling it.
you roll. You got a D10 if I read this correctly, right?
All right.
So, oh crap! I gotta find a D10. Just, of course, I don't have a D10 out. None of my characters roll a D10. So guess what? Where I'm gonna roll the D10. You have an 8. I'm gonna roll it digitally. It'll be the first one I've rolled digitally.
Okay.
Whoop. I rolled a 1.
It was almost a 9.
It was almost a 9. So I'm gonna assume you're gonna take your 8
1 second.
plus 4, according to what I'm reading. So you add 12 to what you had before, which was
So I'm at 24.
24. So go ahead. If you go to your edit your character under number 2 class, I already did the drop down for your level 2. Go to manage HP. I'm right there. I could do it for you. But just override and do 24.
You know what? I just realized I don't think my. Yeah, it doesn't recognize me as me. I'm on my laptop.
So you're not like logged in. You want me to do it?
If you could, I'm gonna log in now so I can take care of everything else. But
Okay. I'll go ahead and click that. You also have a choice of fighting style. Have you looked at that yet?
I have, and I'm gonna go with defender.
Fence. I'll click that for you. Gives you your +1 bonus to AC while you're wearing armor.
Let me if you don't fuck. Everything I took care of on one computer, I've now got across like 3 devices.
I totally understand. I took care of those things for you. I chose that fighting style. And I did your max HP. if everybody wants to go ahead and click their character to a long rest, we're gonna say that we'll do it. I'm not gonna do any combat encounters before you get your long rest. But then I'd like to ask, since I didn't have a chance to write out a summary of what happened in the last match, would anyone be able to give me a summary for this match? Anyone want to volunteer and tell me what we did the last time?
Well, I mean, I always speak up, so somebody else can if they want.
Sure. Can you bring up the map?
Yeah. I'll move you guys over to the Cragmaw Eating Cave.
Good old Eaton Cave. Oh, dang. Oh, yeah, that's right. I only have 5 hit points, don't I?
But if you guys do your long rest, you should get all your spell slots and your hit points back.
Yeah, but I only have 5 currently because that wolf bit the shit out of me.
It should.
I can fix that. Just pretend I fixed that.
After a long rest, you don't get them back.
No, I do.
Okay.
We haven't taken a rest yet, or have we? Are
Oh,
we considered to have taken a rest?
I mean, I was just telling everybody you can do it now. I'm not gonna. We're gonna figure out when you're doing your long rest and your levels. That way, we got it all out of the way before we jump in here.
Okay, so we can go ahead and I can put my HP all the way back up.
Yeah, everybody can just click the long rest button at the top of the page, and it should give you all your spell slots back. Do all of your
long rest.
Yeah, do all your stuff for you. And then I'm just gonna refresh your pages.
It is telling me that I have. Okay, here we go. No, not that.
I can do it for you if you like to.
Aha.
Oh, okay. That's what I need to do, I think. There we go. Okay.
All right, Godwald, you were going to give us a summary.
Following the trail left at the ambush site of our 2 financiers, the party entered the Cragma Eating Cave, making their way diplomatically past a kennel of wolves, through a dangerous river, and past several moderately armed goblins and a bugbear. They discovered the goblins and the bugbear were in fact on different sides.
One
In
of
some
them
cases.
wanted to take over the cave. He wanted to kill the bugbear and become the new leader of the Eating Cave here.
Reaching a situation anyone who's played Skyrim will recognize of completing the second quest objective before the first. Our main objective being find one of our missing financiers. The financier is now totally fine,
It's back on its feet.
though he may need some therapy, and all hostile resistance in the cave has been dealt with. We have count them, one goblin we did not kill who was willing to talk to us, or perhaps was able to talk to us.
It was Ymmeek the Goblin,
Who fancies himself the future king of the goblins of Cragmaw.
well,
Who, as
at
far
least
as
this cave.
a title he currently holds due to lack of opposition.
That's true.
And so now, our only clue being that Cragmaw Castle holds our other financier.
It's true.
The party begins to discuss its next move.
You forgot about all the dead animals.
There was a lot of dead animals.
There's a few dead animals.
There's
One.
quite a few.
There's one dead animal, unless you're calling the goblins animals, in which case, then yes. But they are intelligent creatures. Not extremely
Owl is
intelligent.
dead as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm still mad about that.
I mean, he's kind of not.
He's more of a fey creature.
He's a
right?
fey creature, so he's more like back on the fey plane, and he'll need to be resummoned.
Effectively, yes.
Yeah.
It's just expensive.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Well, mice are pretty cheap, so I'll just get another one and name him Guts.
Oh no.
Oh no, I pity these poor mice. Um, so we could talk about. I'm gonna see what was you guys. You tied up Yamik, and we brought him over to the kind of leaders area where all the goods were stashed. And we didn't talk about like what was happening, but Jerk did run over here first, and he should give me his dexterity check with advantage on it because he's not doing this. He's got a lot of time to unlock this box. So I'm gonna need 2d20 rolls from you plus your proficiency on your
Thieves' tools.
thieves tools. All right, with advantage, so roll again. All right.
What's my modifier on that? Plus
5. So you were 8 the first time, 15 the second time, plus your proficiency with your thieves tools. So you get to use the modifiers on it. So you're able to open the chest, and inside the chest you find 2 potions. One a green liquid, the other a rainbow swirling liquid. And then what else is in that chest? In the room in general, you find supplies. There's a bunch of crates marked with a blue lion symbol, and a bunch of other crates as well. Inside of these things, if you checked, you would just find food and materials, some more mining supplies, general things like torches, and sort of stuff that is in your adventuring pack.
If they were carrying if they were carrying the same stuff we were carrying, why were we separated in case something like this happens?
So you find those. You also in the chest find a jade statuette of a frog with jeweled eyes. And also in the treasure chest 600 copper pieces, 110 silver pieces. So you have to figure out how you're dividing those out amongst each other. So if somebody's got, you can use the calculator. I can assume one of you is.
Yeah, let's divvy those up.
Your gnome's got the highest intelligence score. She can throw out a calculator and tell you how much everybody gets.
I mean, the
I mean,
5 of
you can
us
figure it
or
out.
the 6 of us? Or is there another gnome in a bag somewhere I should know about?
Sildar is not looking to take any of the rewards here. He does recognize the blue lion symbol as the lion shield coster, and he lets you know that they have several posts. They have several posts in the area. They have one in Neverwinter. They have posts in Yartar and Waterdeep, and it's likely that they have a post in Phandalin as well.
Mm-hmm.
I pipe up and I say we divvy the stuff up in the chest amongst ourselves, and we get a hold of someone from this group and send them to the cave. Maybe ask for a reward.
Sildar chimes back. He thinks, likely all of these goods were things that people that the goblins had ambushed along the Tribord Trail, the same place where similar places along where you guys were ambushed, and he and Gundren were ambushed as well. So if we head to Phandalin, we might find a Lion Coster outpost, and they'd probably be happy to get their supplies back.
All right. So you said how much?
Yes.
What were the different pieces of loot?
So everybody gets 120 copper pieces and 22 silver pieces if we divide it 5 ways even.
Sweet.
No arguments here.
120 copper and what? How much silver?
22.
Silver. So go ahead and you guys can add that to your character sheets. The potions you need to unlike magic items, you need to you have to taste them essentially to figure out what they are. Does anyone want to be brave enough to?
I'll volunteer.
Oh God.
I'll volunteer.
Okay, so I hand
Okay.
I keep the rainbow one and I hand him the green one.
Agree one. All you guys need to do is do a taste. There's really weird rules around figuring out what's magic and what's in potions. Literally, it's just like taste it and you figure it out. I would say that probably like the person with the higher arcana is going to be the one who would recognize it. So although anyone could do it, I'll roleplay it out as terms as like the gnome. The gnome can tell you like what's magical, and with the potions tasting it's fine. So the green liquid in the jar, like small jar, is a healing potion. So you guys now have one healing potion. And then, Jerk, you test the rainbow swirling item there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're going to need to roll me...
There it is.
See.
Fantastic.
You're going to need to roll me a... No. Roll me a Constitution saving throw. What's your Const modifier?
+1 to 10.
10. All right, now roll me a d20. 11. In identifying this, let me roll me a d12 now. In identifying this, you realize that this is a peculiar puking potion, and you vomit up 12 live ducklings.
Live ducklings.
12. There are 12 live ducklings on the ground now.
Okay, I take one of those ducklings, and it's my new pet.
It is chirping and
It's
very confused.
Hey, buddy.
They're all tiny,
Welcome
tiny.
to the world. And I give the rainbow potion to Pew Bear. I'm like, here,
How
It's-
very peculiar.
come in handy.
Kind of.
The
Do
gnome
we have anybody who can identify the statue?
the gnome can identify that the statue is indeed magical, but someone's gonna have to roll me an Arcana check to see if they know what it does right off the bat. Otherwise, you're gonna have to spend a short rest with it.
I'll go ahead and see if yeah.
I think you have a pretty high Arcana. That's why I suggested you. But I think Godwald does 2 in general. No.
Yeah,
No.
had I gone proficient
it's plus
in it,
1.
I would've ended
Yeah,
better
but all right.
it.
Yeah, Godwald's proficient in it, so he could.
It doesn't help. People who are planning to be a half wizard probably have better int than I do.
Right. So, go ahead, roll it. 12.
15.
Be 15. All right.
Yep.
Sparkle Gem identifies this as a sentinel jade frog statue. And oh man, I should like throw up a sheet with all the images of this stuff on, shouldn't I? See if I could throw them on this screen really fast. I could probably do this. See if it loads. Just do the thing. The sentinel jade frog statue. Boop.
Oh dang.
The jade frog statue, notice it holds magical properties that only a frog species can unlock. It is an attuned frog species within 5 feet of the statue, may gesture at a target within range, and speak the command words "Ghetto, ghetto, ribbit." Frog language.
Give me a second. Attuned frog.
Oh, I got it. I've created this magical item.
Frog.
I've created this magical item on D&D Beyond, so you guys will be able to add it to your sheet when you figure out who gets it. Speak the command words "Ghetto, ghetto, ribbit," and the statue becomes a giant frog sentinel. The sentinel has the stats of a giant frog, but a movement speed of 0. It will target the creature pointed at or gestured at with a tongue attack, following with a successful tongue attack, then the swallow attack. If the giant frog cannot reach the target, it will await another gestured command for another target. So it basically summons a giant frog that tries to swallow somebody.
Giant frog.
I feel like Taliesin. I feel like Talison's probably the most appropriate one to have this.
giant.
I mean, I can't even use it.
Can you
If you
speak
could-
frog?
Can you turn into a frog?
No.
I could speak frog.
I could technically turn into a frog. Yeah. Well, I'd
helps.
have to be able to see. I'd have to. I can turn into anything that I've seen. So
Okay.
It's a
I would
statue
have
of a
to
frog.
Dream about a frog once.
So
Does
yeah,
that
keep an eye out for
You've never
frogs.
seen a frog.
And
I'm sure I've probably seen a frog.
I'm gonna say as a druid, you've seen a frog. We'll
Okay.
let this one slide for the time being. I might
Okay.
also in the future maybe I'll like figure out some the general small woodland animals. We could say that you've seen squirrels, frogs, maybe bats, stuff
You
that
know
we
what I
would
have
see.
seen that I can turn into a fucking dire wolf.
You have seen a dire wolf.
So that's probably going to be useful.
Probably going to be useful. But so this would be useful for you. But this does give you an indicator. Sildar mentions this. He is like, if that's what this item is, and these other items in here, this probably belonged to someone who would match this description. So maybe a druid, maybe a frog person, maybe a giant sentient frog. We don't know.
Okay.
Well,
What do we know about the blue lion symbol thing?
We know
Sildar
that-
had already mentioned that. Oh, go ahead.
we know that there's a company that this is obviously rated from, and I think we should take it because if we can return it to them, they might reward us.
Well, that's what I say. We leave it here because we don't have a whole lot of room on our carrots. We're gonna have to carry this shit out of them. I say we tell them where it is.
I mean,
Just as good.
Hmm.
Say we cleared
I
it
don't
out.
think they're going to reward us though for that.
You guys,
I feel like we have enough room in
Let me
the
look.
cart.
let me
Did-
figure this out.
I'm assuming
You
that
guys have enough
I-
room. You could probably stack the cart up, fill the cart, and walk along the cart instead of riding on it.
so because there's no more sack, we don't need anyone to be in the cart all the time, strictly speaking.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, and then
Sentinel Jade okay, so I'm adding that to my
yeah, if you do that,
inventory.
somebody gets a healing potion. So one of you can add it up. You guys figure out amongst yourselves.
I have a question real quick. Since we did a long rest, can I change a spell out?
Yes.
Who said that?
Me.
Yes. Well, we're gonna talk about when you're doing your rest here in a second, but yeah, you'll be
Okay.
able to do that here in a second.
Okay.
And where's my screen for the healing? Oh no, I totally have this. I have this as an image. So the peculiar puking poison, and I'm gonna save it. I'm talking about it. It has there's a little tiki man attached to it. He's like the cap of it, and the liquid itself is a swirling rainbow of colors. Oh man, I really want to add this up here really fast. But I did add this onto D&D Beyond, so you guys should actually have this on here. Boop, 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 ba-doop.
How do you
Bam! Look at that.
Oh dang.
And
So what's it
Jerk was
called?
like, I'm tasting this.
Yep. Like, I want to know what this is.
Live ducklings.
So he rolled a 12, and so
Oh, yeah,
he's,
I
he,
gotta add the-
I'm
You
glad
threw
that
up
you didn't
one
puke
D-
up a well-crafted chair.
1d12 live ducklings.
oh god.
And he rolled a
We could-
12.
A
Yeah,
copy of
would have
your
been
own
warm.
head.
It could have been bad. It could have been an electrical
Yeah.
plasma.
A full-sized coffin.
Deer antlers does not sound fun either.
Yeah.
96 carrots?
You guys check out, let's see, 18? I think 18's my favorite.
Yeah, a copy of your own head.
A copy of your own head.
Yeah.
That just that cascades, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a series of things that could
I
be
mean,
bad.
10 is a ship's anchor.
You know, like if that head pukes,
If you
Oh,
feed
yeah.
it. Can it ingest the poison, really?
it's a copy of
Yeah,
you.
so I already
So
handed
if
that.
it's in
to
for
you.
10 minutes.
So you have that. Who added the health potion, healing potion?
I had handed that to Sparkle Gem, so she's actually got it in her possession.
I think you handed it to Pubert.
No, I
But you
handed
guys
it
should
to her.
decide.
I've
You
got
should
the-
decide who
you
it.
got
Hubert
I think
got
he gave him the puking poison.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I just.
Oh,
I
all right.
picked up Jox and I just handed that right to him.
Okay. And here I thought you'd like that, like as a this is something you could try and play on somebody. A little trickster.
Be a great party trick. Just hey, check this out.
Uh huh.
Well, I'm just looking forward to when he gets thirsty and forgets what it does.
Accidentally drop it in front of an enemy on purpose and then cause them to keep puking up stuff.
Actually, you know what? Once we get to where we're going, I say we just keep feeding the goblin this shit.
I'm also going to say that you guys are able to pick up any of your arrows or bolts that you picked up, that you shot at anyone throughout this area. I don't think the arrows should be particularly fragile. I'm not a fan of that. But if you ever like fire them at somebody and then you guys are running, I might be like mark one off your sheet or something. But in this kind of situation, you have time to like go through the room and pick up your arrows and bolts.
Neat.
Does anyone else want to do anything in these rooms? Or
I can't see the map.
oh, right.
Yeah, same. I would like to. See
I'll
if
just move these to the gym layer. Boop. There you go.
So we've checked out. Most of the stuff has like food and supplies in it. We've checked out a treasure chest type deal. I just kind of want to like double check the room to see if there's any like hidden areas that we didn't notice before, or any sort of like stash, something that has anything valuable in it other than what we've already found.
Okay.
I'd like to thoroughly search the bugbear.
All right. As you search the room itself, you don't see there are no other like particular caverns. This is a natural cavern. Nothing's really been like dug out. This is just kind of the form and the shape of this area. But Godwald, searching the bugbear, he does find he finds a few gold on the bugbear. Or silver, I think it is. Where'd he go? You have 3 gold teeth in the bugbear's pouch, as well as 15 silver pieces. Sildar also looking around through the gear, looking for his chainmail, his longsword, his heavy crossbow. None of those things are around, but he does find. Actually, in the bugbear's pouch, you also find a signet ring, which Sildar identifies as his. So he asks you politely for that back.
I hand that over.
Thank you. Thanks you very much.
The rest is going in the owl fund.
On the bugbear, you remembered that he was able to create a magical mud slick, and
Didn't
under his
someone
feet.
else investigate the boots earlier?
Investigated the boots.
I didn't take them.
But you didn't take them. But now that you've gone back and you've searched for them and found them, you're able to find them. And I'm going to roll with the Arcana check that we saw before. And you're able to find these magical boots on the bugbear called Mudwalkers.
So
They basically create a mud slick. It has a bonus action 3 times per day. It's every
Dawn.
24 hours, not every long rest. Every dawn.
So like it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Every dawn, you're able to do this after you're tuned to the item. So you use a bonus action to slide 20 feet in one direction. That is 20 feet. It's not 15 feet. It's not 10. It's 20 feet. You go in one direction, creating that slick behind you. So keep that in mind. And this spell lasts for 1 minute. I've also added this a little bit, which is after using a charge, the boots leave muddy footprints for the next hour. So
Hour.
they're not stealthy boots. They are constantly
otherwise-
creating mud. They're constantly mud caked.
All the time.
Just mud caked. Yeah, they're dirty. They're
All
for
the
dirty boys.
Let's just put these away and talk about them later.
Well, it's also nice that you ignore difficult terrain created by marshes or mud.
Right. So the person wearing them would not be affected by the mud spell that they create.
Or if we went into a marsh.
Or if you went into a marsh, yeah. The marsh, swamps area does not. This person gets to move quickly through that area. You'll also find that they are magical and they will adjust their size to whomever the wearer is. So they are not size based.
Well, I have no use for these.
Ooh. Can I would like to some of these or these goblins had scimitars, correct?
Yep. Every one of them had like a bow or a scimitar on them. You also found a short sword, and there was the Morning Star, right?
Yes.
The
I gave them
spiked
Morningstar to
mace.
Sildar because I wasn't proficient in it. I would like to pick up 2 of the scimitars though,
Okay,
and I want to unequip my quarterstaff and equip both scimitars.
go ahead.
So
I'm gonna add this.
put
piece
that
of-
away, and I'm gonna. Where's the proficient?
I'm adding the Morning Star
Scimitar.
to Sildar's sheet.
Because that is a sweet bonus, and also I believe I have actions in combat 2 weapon fighting. Attack action. Hold a melee weapon that you're holding in one hand. You can use bonus action to attack with a different light weapon. Yep.
So I think that means you're able to use, or just general 2-weapon fighting. So anybody can really use 2-weapon fighting, like as long as they're light weapons. It's a special ability to be able to add your modifier to both attacks. So if you think of it like you're right-handed, right? So with your right hand, you're able to add your modifier. With your left hand, you're not.
Yeah.
But there are like fighter classes. I think paladins can do it. There's feats and stuff where you could add your modifiers to both.
Yeah. Yeah, it does say that.
So just as a
But
general
that's
heads
still,
up on that.
Yeah, nice that I can do both.
So, do any of the goblins have any gold or anything?
But also remember that's your bonus action too. So if you wanted to like in Chris's situation, right, where he wants to use his bonus action to maybe disengage or dash, you can't use that second hand to do that. You're gonna attack and then use the bonus action. You only get one bonus action.
Yes.
Yeah, so do any of the goblins have any money or unusual items on them, including the one that we have tied up?
The rest of the goblins are just wearing filthy clothes and filthy leather armor. It's kind of decrepit and really not that great. Nobody else has any other kind of gear on them. And it was part of the reason why so many goblins were really not a big fan of, I think it was Grick, right?
What?
Clark, the
Clark?
bugbear. Yeah, he kept all the best stuff for himself.
Gotcha.
That's why it was all in this room.
All right. Well, I think that's that. We've gotten everything we're going to get from this place.
So as you guys have been looting the area and you're sitting here resting, Sildar basically lets you know that he is he's interested in getting back to Phandalin. He lets you guys know what happened when he was ambushed, even though nobody asked. He's still here to throw in some information your way, and that
shade.
when they were, yeah, he's little like, well, he's very thankful that you rescued him, right? That's one of his first things. It's like, thank you all very much for rescuing me. This is, I understand you like had to find the trail, find your way here, and I appreciate the level of honor that it required in order to go out of your way and risk your lives to save another person. So he's quite impressed, and he's
a sore back from your graceful landing.
and he's you notice that he's just he just kind of assumes that Pubert was in the lead. He's like, great job, as another member of as a trainee of the what are they? Oh my gosh. Of his order, as a trainee of his
The Order of the White Lotus.
Yeah. As the Lord's Alliance. He also lets you know that he wants to let you know why then you guys were hired to take this gear and where they were headed. He lets you know that Gundren was one of 3 brothers who had recently found the entrance to a lost mine called the Lost Mine of Phandelver.
I correct him. I say he is one of 3 brothers. We know where he is.
Well, yeah,
Find out how to get there.
Maybe he doesn't have 3 brothers anymore.
Well, so He's one of three brothers. They recently found that entered this cave known as Wave Echo Cave. And this is the site of the Fandelver's Pact. This is a ancient cave that had magical, like raw magical power in the cave, and for hundreds of years was used by combined forces of humans, elves, and gnomes, but along with dwarves. They mined this cave, and they also used the raw magic power to create magical weapons, magical items, and basically to benefit the Sword Coast. About 500 years ago, there was an orc invasion that had conquered the area, and the cave had been lost. But Gundren and his brothers had found the location and had a map to go there. These goblins were hired by someone who Sildar has overheard named the Black Spider. The Black Spider ordered these goblins to come and capture them, and they took Gundren to Cragmaw Castle. He lets you know, too, that this hideout, the Cragmaw hideout, the Eating Cave, is just one of many goblin encampments, the headquarters of which is Cragmaw Castle. So the Lord's Alliance has known about some of these goblins in the area, and he was actually coming to start trying to bring order and peace back to the area, and an effort to also help Gundren find the cave as well.
All right.
So, and this was where the town of Phandalin was originally founded. So, Godwald and Pubert, they would actually know some of this, that Phandalin was originally there, and in the last 20 years, people have been going back to the ruins of Phandalin and rebuilding the town, and there have been more and more prospectors trying to find the caves in the mountains nearby, the Sword Coast Mountains. And so he's interested in getting to Phandalin, getting the geared back up, and trying to rescue Gundren. He wants to help there. He also offers that if you guys will escort him back to Phandalin, he'll acquire a loan and pay you 50 gold himself.
I look at Pubert and I say, "What do you think, boss?"
So, Hubert gives you a quizzical look because Joe, his player, just got back to the computer.
The guy we're talking to thinks you're our
just
leader because you're part of his order.
Well, he's very favorable. He's very favorable to Pubert. Sildar, as a member of the Lord's Alliance, is very favorable to you. And so he's kind of assumed that you were the driving force to come and rescue him.
Also,
No one's really said anything different either, so.
Can I just say maybe we should head back to the cart while we have this conversation?
I will wholeheartedly agree to both.
Okay. Are you guys going to start carrying the supplies out of here?
Yeah.
sure.
I think we should take the chest with the lion head on it.
Okay. Yeah, several of the crates and sacks have the lion on them. There's more supplies in the cavern as well. And like I said, you have enough room on the cart that you could probably stack all of this up and take it with you, but then you guys probably have to walk alongside the cart.
Okay.
Works for me.
Okay, so you're not resting here. So I'm hearing correctly?
In this cave.
Probably rest here in the cave, freshen up, and then go out.
But I guess we do know that everything in the cave is dead.
Right, we know everything in the cave is dead. The lookout post out front, though.
We're also right next to a fire pit.
Yes.
So we've got a nice little campfire.
With Talison's passive insight, he understood that the lookout post out front was probably the two goblins that you encountered. They were there and they went on patrol, and you guys encountered and captured one and killed the other. So
They have been very well encountered.
yeah. You've taken care of everything.
Okay.
We're about a mile from the cart, but
Sildar could also mention, you guys could go off to get the cart and bring it back. But Sildar also mentions that he's been here because it's been they ran ahead, so they were probably like a day out when they got captured. You guys took like 5 days, so he's been here a few days. There was one group that came by to get like supplies from here. So this is kind of like a waylay for them to take supplies from here. So they're running their ambushes from this cavern. But only, he said, even then, when a day or so ago, it was a few goblins that came by, got supplies on a cart and left.
Okay, so let's just wait here or rest here because they probably won't be back for a while, and we know everything in here is dead.
My question is about the cart, though. Because that had most of our stuff in it that we were meant to take to Fandolin.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to really leave that at where we left it?
I mean, we already have.
It's up to you guys. I mean, it has only been, let's see, so like the morning came up, you walked for about an hour, you came into the cave, and in about another 30 minutes, you slaughtered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 goblins, a wolf, and a bugbear. So it's like not even really noon. You guys have some time on the day if you're looking at time of day.
I'd say we rest.
Yeah, I agree. Rest
For
and
how
then
long?
Load up the cart, and then
I mean,
I didn't lose. any
Sildar could
hit
use his
points.
rest too. He's
I didn't lose any
Right,
hit points, so I could go get the cart and bring it up while they're resting.
Can you? Is there terrain for that?
I could probably go with Kirk as well because I didn't lose any hit points.
it was difficult terrain. You didn't think you could really get the cart much closer from before. That's true.
Oh, that's I forgot about that.
So you probably might run a few supply runs back and forth.
Yeah, I'll run supply runs while they're resting. That way,
Well, because I mainly just need to make sure that I do this so I can get my spell slots back.
I'm gonna. All
I,
right.
I
I already told you guys I'm not gonna run an encounter on you in the middle of this. So I wanted to get your short rest and your leveling up out of the way. So we could say that you could get all your supplies, do some runs back and forth to the cavern, and then if you want to camp at the where you camped before, that'll be fine. I'm not gonna jump
right.
you with anything.
Let's do that
is that
then.
goblin still there?
I don't know. We haven't gone back yet, so let's do that. Let's start taking stuff back to the cart.
Okay. So you guys,
And, yeah. Good.
so you guys grab your supplies. You move back out to the cart. As you go out there with your first load of supplies, the goblin is still tied to the tree. Did you bring Yamik, the second goblin, tied up with you?
I've got him. I'm like holding his leash.
So he is
So he
kind
will
of
be
tied
with
up
me.
and he's on a few foot leash.
Yeah,
10 foot, 5 foot, 1 foot.
it's like 5 feet.
I
Okay.
just start shaking my jar of teeth at the goblin we tied up last time.
Okay. As you guys are walking the supplies out, Sildar does take a moment to question. He looks over at Pubert and Godwald, and he's like, "So when did this gnome join you? And do you have an explanation for this demon man?" He's very curious as to what you guys feel about this. He lets you know he's not entirely comfortable working with this red-skinned demon man.
I tell him I'm not a demon man. I'm a tiefling.
He's not talking to you. You didn't hear this.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Q Bear kind of looks at Dirk, and he looks back at him, and kind of really quietly leans back and says, "He's actually really sensitive about the red skin." So,
Oh, he leans in. He says, "Was he cursed? Has he been cursed since the last time that I saw you? Is that what happened?"
I'm gonna kind of pull a Homer Simpson.
Am I within earshot of this at all?
With your passive perception, well, let's just say your marching orders were the same marching orders you guys gave me before, so you're kind of in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So would I just be able to like lean forward a little bit and just be like, he was covering it up with something. We didn't know either.
Oh, that's a little worrisome. Do we know we can trust him? Do you trust him? He's kind of looking at Godwald, Pubert, and now Talus, and he just come back and join in the conversation.
As far as I know, his intentions are to complete the contract until he gets paid.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
he doesn't seem like
He was a trustworthy ally in battle.
all right.
Which came with a heroic nod.
He did see Jerk attacking, so he'll accept
Also,
this accept this for now.
was he like awake at all when Jerk ran out to catch him when he got thrown off the cliff or the ledge?
You know what? He would have been. He was still kind of a little weary of a demon man that he didn't really recognize before, and now he kind of put it together that it's the same guy, but now he's red.
Yeah.
But he takes your guys' word for it. He takes your guys' word for it. He trusts you, so he'll trust him as far as as you trust him.
Do I still have some of the makeup on, or is it all gone at this point?
I'd say it's all gone at this point. We let you.
Washed
I let
away
you. I
in
let you
a-
go in way too far, anyways.
You did.
Just because we
You
forgot to
Wait,
role play.
wait, wait, wait.
We forgot to role play it. It lasted longer than it should have. That's okay though.
Well, yeah. We're kind of in the middle of a lot of battles when it started falling off.
Combat.
Yeah, the water rushing by was, I think, the final mark on it. So we could say that like Sparkle Gem did a really great job applying it the first time.
Well,
Yeah.
Critical role, Sparkle Gem. Very nice. But you guys are able to take the first load. You get back to your campsite, and the goblin is still tied up to the tree, squirming. And then he sees you and stops. He's been trying to get out.
Oh, the one tied up to the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really blame him.
Are we able to go back to that map that we had there?
Did we ever-
You never had one?
Oh, okay.
You never had one? I did it. But let me see what I might have for you.
Whose TV is going crazy?
I don't know.
I did prepare a map for you.
Okay, cool. I see where it was like probably couldn't get through here. Down this guy.
Yeah, that would have been rough.
All right.
So you guys are able to do that. You have one on. There's still stuff in the back. Like you still have enough, so you probably need to do another trip back in order to have everything. But you now have one goblin tied up to a tree. He's over there, and you've got a goblin with you, which I'll bring him over. I'll bring a goblin from the other map over here, who is only mildly injured. He's actually doing pretty okay as far as random goblins.
That's why I made sure to tie him up real good. Okay, so I mean, I guess I would want to probably tie the goblin up to this other tree.
All right.
And then put my stuff in the cart.
All right, and I'm looking real quick to see if I've got a restrained. Yeah, I'm gonna do this icon. This icon is restrained. It's on that. I'm gonna do it on him too. He's also restrained with a tiny net.
Somebody's watching something with Aziz
got
on
my
screen.
hair. Yeah, hey, somebody's TV's on.
I think that's Godwald. I can see it.
Oh.
I'll see what
Thanks.
I can do.
Thanks, buddy.
Aziz, I'm sorry, huh? How's that?
All right. So you guys are able to do that. You're able to tie Yamik up to the tree, and I'm gonna assume you also want to go back for some more of the supplies.
Yeah, I'll head back to go get more.
Okay. Is anybody staying to set up camp or anything, or?
We should probably keep a couple of us at camp and send the rest back. I'll stay at camp.
I would probably help move supplies.
I can help move supplies.
I can do either.
Should you stay cloaked though, or like stay somewhere out of sight?
Probably.
Yeah, we can do that. Where am I at? Alright. I'm gonna get in the bushes behind this goblin.
Climb up inside this tree. Just stand right there.
Yeah, so I'll head back, I guess, with Pibert to go get the rest of the stuff. We can let Sildar, maybe we should let him just kind of chill. I feel like he's had a rough time.
He has. And he's got no armor, though he does have a morning star. He's got a weapon now.
Yeah.
He also picked up a scimitar off the ground. Sildar is older knight. He's actually, if anybody, does anybody want to talk to him and like talk to him just generally about who he is, what he does? I'm gonna throw that out there. You can if you want to.
I'll have a conversation with him.
All right. Well, all right. So yeah, you approach him to talk, and he's like, I know a little bit about tieflings. I understand that in your ancestry, you were a cursed race, but many tieflings worship some of the dark gods. Who do you worship?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about that in a very long time. Since I made this character, actually.
All right. So all right. I was like, all right, he doesn't worship anyone. He takes that as an interesting point to remember.
So I asked him, like I said, do you have a problem with tieflings? I noticed that you kind of kept looking at me a little sideways.
And he says, well, it's not a problem with tieflings per se. It's just there are many evil races here on the Sword Coast who worship many evil gods. For instance, the Goblin Cavern we just came from, that's referred to as the Eating Cave. I don't know if you speak Goblin. The Eating Cave is where they eat people, anyone they've captured, animals. They're really not particularly kind creatures. They're in fact quite violent and sadistic. So
good thing I saved you then, huh?
I'm very glad that everyone came to save me. But so with creatures that worship evil gods, I definitely gives me pause. But I do remember you attempting to catch me as I fell, and I don't think an evil creature would have tried to save my life, save the life of practically a stranger.
So I kind of want to just chat with him a little bit and ask him if he's got any old war stories or anything we should know if we're going to be traveling with him.
Well, I see you guys sit around what's now the coals. You've probably not really a campfire anymore. Maybe you start to gather some firewood around the area, and have a little talk. He tells you a bit about how he's actually a former member of the Hippogriff Guard of Waterdeep. So he was a rider of a flying beast, and he's been in a fair share of battles while riding hippogriffs. Even though they're referred to as the Griffin Cavalry, it's more of a title than what they actually ride. Tells you a bit about that. He talks a little bit about things that he experienced, here, and why he wants to go to Wave Echo, help Gundren, find Wave Echo Cave, and he's really interested in serving the interests of the Lords of Waterdeep here in the Sword Coast. They, are afraid that if the mine is found and taken by anyone, any of the Dark Elves groups, or perhaps the goblins, and are able to start reproducing magical weapons from there, it could actually be very dangerous for the area. So to let you know that it's a priority for him. He also talks about some of the reasons that he was coming in. to Phandalin and why he wants to go there. He came to Neverwinter because the Lord's Alliance had sent a wizard from Neverwinter to Phandalin, and they hadn't heard from him. So he came to Neverwinter to get some information on a wizard named Iarno, Iarno, Albric. And Iarno, was sent to Phandalin to restore order and speak with another wizard there. But they've actually not heard from either the wizard Herda or Iarno. So this is of grave concern, especially with the trouble that's been brewing in the area. These goblins have been attacking more and more caravans, and it's starting to become dangerous for the common folk, as well as people active in the area. So he's here to take care of some business, and he's very interested in getting back to Phandalin.
I ask him, I tell him, you seem like a very well-traveled fellow. Do you know anything about the Zentarim?
Zentrim, an opposing faction to the Lord's Alliance. The Zentrim really, it tells you a bit about them. He kind of raises an eyebrow as to why you're asking. But he says, the Zentrim really just seek power. They may help other factions like the Lord's Alliance, but what he knows of them is that they're really a bunch of... He feels like they're a bunch of cutthroats and mercenaries, and that they don't have the interests of the common folk to heart like he does.
I pat him on the shoulder and I just say, know your enemy, right, bud? And then I go back to my tree.
He eyes you again.
Have I come
But-
back from getting?
Am I
that
here for
stone
this?
Yet?
Did you go to help get supplies, or was it just Pubert and Tailson?
Just the two.
Just the two?
Yeah.
You guys, let's say you've come back. So, did you go with them, or Sparkle Gem?
I climbed a tree and I'm chilling up here in this
Yeah,
tree.
Chill it out in the
hanging
tree. Okay. Well, then everybody who was there kind of heard some of that. You guys could, talk about it. Later. You discuss some of this, especially if you're going to rest and camp here. There would probably be about one more load of supplies back there. Anybody going to go make another run?
Oh, I didn't.
I'll make-
Okay.
Because you did only have two people. They're walking about a mile, so you're getting into the afternoon, and
I'll make it if nobody else does.
I'll do it.
Pubert and Jerk go for another run.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
And I'll chat with Pubert on the way
Uh,
up there.
I will look to Godwald and say, are you okay with managing everything here? I'm gonna go make sure that we get the rest of this stuff and don't have to keep taking more trips.
All right.
I think that we have it for a while.
All right, so
Okay.
I will go up here.
You guys are generally, this is not a lot of scary things going on at the moment. You guys are okay. Jerk and Taliesin go. You guys both roll me a perception check.
Perception. I think Pubert went right too.
Pubert could roll me a perception check too. In fact,
just-
since it's a group check, whoever has the highest perception modifier, go ahead and just roll it with advantage.
Or we could just take what Taliesin got.
I somehow rolled a 20.
All right. Well, so Taliesin, you've noticed as you guys have cleared out the cavern that there's one crate that no matter what you've done each time, you've noticed it. You've marked it as an item that you needed to come and get, but you've left it twice now, and it seems odd. So, upon investigating it, you notice that this crate isn't of itself magical.
All right.
Burn it back.
Um,
Burn it back. I'll identify it.
You kind of just notice it coming from you.
Taste it?
You understand it. It's not a potion.
yeah. Am I able to try to identify it?
Yeah. Roll me an Arcana check. All right. Wait, unless it's a negative. Do you have a negative modifier on it?
A negative modifier on Arcana? No, I have +1 to Arcana.
Sweet. You identify this crate as a strange magical item known as the Crate of Object Impermanence.
All right.
Right? The Crate of Object Impermanence is a 3x3 by 3 foot wooden crate. 5 sides, one side with a 2-inch hole on it. And on the opposite side is stamped the word empty. The crate weighs about 5 pounds. And the crate magically casts the effects of Pass Without Trace on itself and any creature inside of it when a creature goes inside of it. As long as the creature is inside of the crate, they are hidden, and all 4 sides have to be touching the ground. If a creature moves while in line of sight of another creature, the spell is broken. And if you create any holes in the sides of the crate, the spell is broken as well.
But you said there's a hole in it.
There's one hole in the side of it. If you create any more holes in the sides of it, it breaks the spell.
Okay. But we have to be inside of the crate for this to affect us?
Mm-hmm. But the
Okay.
crate itself has this cast on it.
So is this
You
just
actually
like
noticed you barely
this
noticed this
cardboard
crate.
box from what is the game called?
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear, yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, I'm very proud of this. I'm very proud of this magical item that I created, and
Why is this
I've
a
already
picture of it?
I've already submitted it to D&D Beyond, and it was accepted as an item that everyone
Hell
can
yeah.
use.
Is this a picture of a crate that's from like TF2?
I have no idea. I just
No,
found a
it's
crate
not.
with the word empty on the side of it, and I thought that was the best image I was going to find of a crate because it has
Those
the word
TF2
empty
crates
written on it.
are rectangular, like chest shaped.
Okay.
But
Haven't
so
played in a long time, but
so this crate exists as well.
so I will take this crate.
Take this crate up. Again, it only is in effect when it's on the ground and all 4 sides are on the ground as
All four,
well.
like quarters.
Yeah. Yeah, so you could think however you might think to use this.
Holy shit, where'd that crate come from?
Yes. They also might ignore the crate if they're walking by it. It really just doesn't even seem like anything to a person who's nearby.
Yes. So I will take this crate back with us.
Is there anything?
No, the crate was empty.
Oh, okay.
As the
It's
stamp
clearly
side.
marked.
Wait, what crate? What are we talking about?
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to tell everyone else too what I have found out about this crate. And be like, hey guys, or well, I probably wouldn't say that in this day and age, but fellow companions, this crate is magical. I believe whatever we put in this crate will not be able to be detected, nor will the crate be as long as it's stationary. I think we can find use for that. I'm gonna bring it back to the camp with us.
Okay, and how big is this crate?
You
3
said it was
foot-
5 pounds.
It's 5 pounds. It weighs 5 pounds, but is 3
by
foot.
3. So first thing I'm doing is I'm running and crawling into it, seeing if
I was,
I'm
I was
falling.
gonna suggest put the gnome in it.
Well, that was my suggestion.
So you want to test it out?
Yes, I want to test it out.
That would be my suggestion. Is
All right.
like if we need you to sneak by something, you just carry it above you, and then when
Yes.
somebody's walking by, drop it on top of you.
Yep.
Any small to medium creature should be able to fit inside of it. 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot. You'd be like ducked down on your knees. If you're a medium creature, small creature probably going to be okay. But if someone wants to carry this, then you could just throw it on your inventory. But it is a big crate, so it might be something that's specifically used at a specific time in the future. But I'll let you guys figure out if you have any ideas for it. But if you want to try it out right now, go ahead and roll a dexterity or a stealth check.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, are you rolling that?
She's got inside.
I didn't mean to do that.
That's
Sorry.
all right. Plus your modifier is
18.
plus 10. So
Wait.
28. Basically, once the gnome throws the crate over herself, you all kind of forget what where she was or where it was happening, and you go back about your business.
Real
Nice.
life talk for a second. Holy shit, Popeye's chicken is good.
Okay.
So they
So
say.
All right.
this is an interesting
we're all-
cave. These goblins have been raiding for some time, and they, they've been grabbing people off this road, and they've managed to get some loot at a time where it was very advantageous for you to come here. So should be
Awesome.
glad you wanted to rescue Sildar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good choice.
All right.
So are we all back at the camp
I was
now?
gonna say if we're all packed up, we can head to Fandolin.
Hey, you guys are packed up. You got to take your long rest now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the rest.
Sure.
So you guys are taking your long rest.
Order? Who's taking watch when?
I have
It's
the
still
watch.
daylight,
Correct.
Well, I mean, there's 8 hours and there's 4 of us, so we just divide it up.
Sure, but it's still daylight, correct?
It would be, but you could still rest.
Well, I just mean like it's more useful if me, Jerk, or Sparkle Gem are the ones that are awake during the dark because we can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
I'll
guys.
take first shift.
So yeah, so that went on about through the evening. It took you, it was a mile-ish walk. It was actually shorter than a mile. Remember, he thought it was a mile, but he really wasn't good at distance, so it was significantly closer. But it still was a walk with crates and supplies, and it took you guys 3 runs back and forth to get everything loaded up in the cart. So you'd be pretty tired in the sun setting. So if you took your long rest, if you did your rest now,
Yeah, let's
you
do
could
that.
get up sometime in the morning, and we could stay till dawn.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Oh, I gotta
So-
do my prayers.
You guys have the ability now to,
And I
I
have,
think, your spellcasters. You guys are all special freaking spellcasters, and you can swap spells out with long rest. Is that right?
I can do
Sparkle
that.
Gem
Yeah.
Put my,
The cleric and the druid. What was that, Jerk?
Can I have Sparkle Gem put my skin back on?
Yeah, back up. What did we roll for her? What did we roll for her? Number of charges on that disguise kit. I don't know if we did that yet.
No.
We could do that at some point.
How do I remove
In fact,
this?
I'm gonna give you a D12
Maybe I have to go. and
number
do
of
that.
those. Sparkle Gem, you've got 5 disguise charges left. Sildar at some point looks at the map that you guys have carved into the the cart. Let me see if I can take your hand carved map. He looks at your hand carved map and he says, "Yeah, I think you guys mark's a little far up here, and this really wouldn't be the area considered as Neverwinter, but we're a bit closer to the Tribor Trail than you've indicated on this map here. So it should probably take you, my luck, another maybe day and a half of travel. Let me double check this. So not as long as you were thinking. 'Cause it was 5 miles. Oh yeah, no, you're pretty easy. You guys can get back in another day of travel from where you're at.
We can get back to Fandolin.
You can get to Fandolin in about a day from here.
Oh,
You guys were actually pretty close. And he looks at you. He kind of looks at the map and chuckles. He's like, "We should get you guys a real map." Just thinks
Yes, please.
it could be a good idea.
Look, he stood there and watched as we got this map.
Yeah, he
So
might have thought it was kind of humorous.
Yeah. He probably also didn't think that this was going to happen to him. so-
Yeah, I really didn't.
no one ever does.
No one ever thinks they're gonna get
Yeah.
ambushed on the road. Well, he probably thought he could handle it, but from the story, actually, I forgot to tell you, from the story of how they were ambushed, is the entire goblin encampment of the eating cave was there, so it was probably roughly about 20-ish goblins, and the bugbear who jumped them. So it was very clear that this was orchestrated and specifically for them to be
So
captured.
someone told the goblin, someone who's been So someone paid the goblins to attack them in particular, despite them not really having goods.
Right, and if
Yeah.
you remember, while he was
Well,
talking, it
told
was
us it was
the black spider.
Black
The
spider.
black
Yeah,
spider.
he heard that name mentioned, though he doesn't know who or what that might be. He just knows that that was the name that the goblins had. Sildar speaks goblin. It's a good language to
too.
know in this area.
Does everyone speak goblin now?
No, just you two guys.
Just,
One of them
just
might
me
have been
and
built into
Sildar.
the story, so they so they could, this would be okay. You can get some information from goblins. It's possible. You also didn't kill one of the ones that spoke common, so your other one of your goblins tied up to the tree does not speak goblin. Just Taliesin does.
Yes. How do I
Think.
switch out a spell?
You unprepare one and you repair the other one.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I didn't realize that what that meant.
To find is to
Undermanaged
lose, and to lose
spells.
is to find. To gain something, something else must be given up in exchange.
You just
Except when you get a
quoting.
free drink at Starbucks.
But we could say you guys have the crate of object impermanence on the cart just upside down.
Yeah.
And you could put stuff in it while it's upside down, and it's not going to cast its spell unless it's turned over. So there's that, and then you guys go through sleep. I have your watch order down as Sparkle Gem because she wasn't around when they decided at first. Then Jerk, then Taliesin, then Godwald, then Pubert, and then I have Godwald's Familiar at the end for some reason.
I don't have one.
Yeah, throw that in a little
And how does
strike,
Box
little
get here?
little strike through on that.
We can replace this familiar
Oh.
with my chick.
You hand me one of your 12 chicks in recompense for my loss.
Did you take you went through the effort to try to bring all 12 baby chicks with you?
I just
He
grabbed
had an
one.
empty box.
Just one?
Right?
You could carry them on my shield.
Oh, that's
Well, they
actually
would have
really
been-
funny.
They would have been back there, but I'll just say if you guys tried to bring them back, you had the creative object of permanence. Taliesin, did you grab the baby chicks?
Here, hold on. I've got a good way to solve this.
Yeah, I'll pick up the baby chicks. Or the baby ducklings.
We have
You did.
4 of them.
You did leave them, yeah, the baby ducklings, right?
So
Yeah.
we took 4 of them, and the other ones I gently helped them into the little river so that they could make their way out of the cave.
They swam their way down the
Yeah.
river with the stream.
Well, okay, so because I can also, now that I'm level 2, I can speak Sylvan, which also means that that animals can understand what I'm saying to them, and I can interpret what their noises and gestures mean.
All right.
I can that's why I'm switching out speak with animals, because I can basically do that without having to cast anything now.
Okay. And speak with animals also is a ritual spell, so
Mhm.
I think if you know, it doesn't work that way with you. Okay. All right. It's not like a wizard with a book.
Let's see here.
Weird. I would have thought that was, yeah, it's just down your known spells, and you just
What?
wait. Are you doing this off your known spells list? Is that how you did it, or your prepared spells list?
So my
You can prepare
No.
5.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is that right? No.
I have
Yeah.
5.
You right now you have, according to this, 3 of 5 prepared.
Right. Because I haven't actually added the other ones yet.
Oh, okay.
But I figured I don't need speak with animals if I can just talk to them now.
Yeah. And you gesture at the ducks and you say, "Go free, baby ducklings."
I'm just trying to figure out which. This one seemed pretty useful.
So I actually took one of the chicks with me. That's actually
Yep.
what I marked down because
It's
of my new pet.
it's squirming around.
Should I ask him what Nature Boy? What's this guy's name?
What
I think you
what
would
is
name it.
The-
It's a duckling. It's not smart enough to name itself. Also, it was conjured magically, so it's not like it had a mom.
does now.
Hang on. We're gonna do this. Hang on.
Are we going to name all 4 ducklings?
No, we're just naming mine. The other one, you guys
Alright.
do whatever you want with.
I mean,
give me a
you guys are
second,
doing
give
it.
me a
You tell me.
What am I rolling here? A 19. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, that one's stupid.
Here, I'll roll. I'll roll.
No.
Just name the ducks. Jeez, you guys are ridiculous. All right, while you figure that out.
No, okay.
Was
well,
that-
I got it.
All
What's his
right,
name?
Quacky Chan.
Ah, perfect.
Quacky Chan. All right.
I'll have to put that in my.
Yeah, make sure you note that down on your notes. Quacky Chan is back. All right,
Man,
was
I'm
this
rolling
order
for that
correct? Was it Sparkle Gem, Jerk, Taliesin, Godwall, Pubert? Is that right?
That depends on the time.
Yeah,
of day.
Pubert was the last one that.
Yeah.
When's the darkest hours? typically?
Well, it's sunset right now.
Yeah, if it's sunset now, you guys could put one of these humans on either end of this and probably get them maybe more towards the daylight.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Taliesin also doesn't need as much rest, so if he rests first,
Yeah, I can do that.
he could be the one who's awake standing guard for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, I'll do that. Sleepy
So,
time.
is my order my watch order is now who's first? Just give me it. Tell me who's first. I'm gonna go down and type them in.
I'll rest first because I don't have to rest as
You're
long.
resting first, so who's watching first? One of the humans.
Humans. Quick, volunteer.
Me.
All right. And
I'll
then
go second.
I'll go third, and then Pubert will be the wake up man.
And Taliesin could be on
Alright.
standby for the
Taliesin will be up for the
Mhm.
watch like now. Okay. Bum ba da ba da ba bum ba dum bum ba ba da da bum bum ba ba da da bum bum ba ba da da bum 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 ba.
Then next,
Early in the morning,
suddenly,
as man, you guys keep. What is this with you guys and Dawn? Really, like, yeah. So early in the morning, you
hey, and up she
as
rises.
you're all that you got, all that you're so you're waking up. You start hearing
Don't get me started. I will sing the whole song.
Taliesin, roll me perception.
Damn it. 3 plus, I think 2.
Mm-hmm.
5 wisdom.
As everyone's waking up, you start feeling the ground rumble.
Oh god.
Oh,
Where are you camping? Let me out where you guys were camped out. Nobody could be in the cart this time.
I can't be hiding like in my box next to the cart.
You could be
I'm,
you could be sleeping in the box.
Sweet.
I'm underneath the cart again.
You're under the cart again.
Yeah.
I'd probably be
You
by
the
the fire.
trees. You guys were there. You always had somebody at watch, so none of the goblins went away. As you guys were sleeping here, you start feeling the ground rumble. Broom, broom, broom. And you're not sure where the sound is coming from. But you start to just broom, broom. Somebody roll me perception. Let's see. Taliesin didn't. Somebody's gonna wake up. Everybody roll me a perception roll. The highest person wakes up. Sparkle Jump 17. Jerk's 10. Veer's 10. Godwald 10. Okay. Sparkle Gem, sleeping in her box, feels this rumbling, wakes up. In the box, which way is the box facing? I've decided which way this is coming from.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be horrible because if I pick run, I don't see shit. I'll say it's facing out that way. Pew. Wait,
Ping
wrong
it
thing.
that way.
I'm trying to get the.
So like snap to center of this guy. So like that way is facing this way. All right, you don't see it, but it does wake you up. Broom, broom,
That's my reaction. I
broom.
spin around in my box, like pick it up, move it slightly, and keep doing that until I find what's going
The direction you see it, you're looking through the hole.
Yes.
Broom. Everyone else starts to stir as it wakes them, and over the trees, a gigantic beast
What?
appears.
What?
It's
It's
huge.
hideous.
Everyone
Dang.
is awake but hasn't moved. This is a giant.
Oh crap.
It stands about 35 feet tall. So let's do a quick note of how much bigger it is than everything else you've seen. It's humongous. Tanned creature, lives outdoors, wears very little. Taliesin and Sparkle Gem would know that this is a hill giant, and hill giants eat anything. As this creature rumbles through the forest, comes up and moves, it walks through, continue to rumble. You now are all awake and witnessing this, surprised.
Oh, cripe.
Let's
I don't speak giant. Does anyone here speak
Let's-
giant?
roll initiative for the sake of rolling the initiative.
My bow speaks giant.
Hey, this happened during the day. You should be happy that it's light outside. All right, I got. Let's see, when did we stop with the 10 rolls on Godwald? So, Jerk, you were 15 plus your mod 3. Sparkle Gem, you were 6 plus your mod. Godwald 16. Nice roll, Godwald. Bear 7. Oh, where's my Sildar? Oh, hey, real quick, I'm going. Yeah, I'll do it this turn. But I'll probably need somebody, since Sildar's in your party now, to run him during combat, so I don't have to worry about him with everybody else.
I don't want to do it because I roll shitty.
Let me see his
Somebody
character
who
sheet.
feels confident on it, I'll go ahead and I'm gonna assign it to anybody who would volunteer. You'll see his character sheet.
I'll get it.
Activate Sildar. He's in the party, and I don't think I can claim him. Godwall, if you go to the 2-bit D&D campaign,
Yeah, I'm gonna read it first.
you should be able to
I
do
see
it.
the claim button.
He's good. You can claim him if you want to run him. Or I know, Joe, you've played maybe a little bit more and more recently than others, so if you want to volunteer too. All right. What you see?
But, this session's just very iffy for me as it is.
All right. Totally understandable.
Maybe next time, though.
Hey, man.
Hopefully, this whole like surprise work trip.
Surprise work trip. Thanks for playing, by the way. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited that this actually could happen.
this hill giant walks through the trees. You see, just they're almost like they're probably 20 feet tall, and he's 30 foot tall. So he's well above the trees there. He walks up to this tree, He pulls it from the ground with the goblin still attached. And he just bites into the goblin like
Oh no.
some kind of jerky. It's a snack for him.
That was the not king goblin, right?
Yeah.
That is correct. That was the scout. He
So
then
that goblin was sitting there for 24 hours and then died.
yes. He then
Yeah.
after putting the tree up to its mouth and just biting the goblin off, and chewing it up. He takes the tree from the base, strips the branches off with one hand, slings it over his shoulder like a club, and continues walking this way. Boom, boom.
I don't
I
like this.
have a order. I need to know what you guys want to do. Starting with Jerk. You would be frightened in this situation. You have the frightened effect, which means, in fact, you all do, which means none of you can approach the source of your fear. He has moved
Hmm.
this way.
How far does my bow reach? My bow reaches.
Don't shoot him, please. Don't. Just let him pass. If he's just going past, let him pass. We
Is
can
that
go
an option?
back. Hopefully, he'll leave us in peace.
Is the fire still going with people sleeping around it?
You're
Well, they're
all
awake.
Okay, we're all awake.
you're all
but the
you're all
fire
awake.
is
You're the
there.
first one there. You're sleeping up against this other tree. You just make your decision to move or whatever. You can't approach him though. You're frightened.
All right. Well, I don't know anything about them, so I'm gonna just back off for my turn, and I'm gonna ready my bow. So I'm gonna move.
So you're going to prepare. You'll attack it if it attacks us, I think is what you said.
Yeah. Basically, I'm moving
Okay.
here to see if it walks by. If it doesn't, I'm gonna shoot my bow and arrow at it.
Okay. Godwald, you're the next on the initiative order. What do you do in the
So I
face of
can't
this
move.
terrifying giant? You can't move towards him.
Let's see. Put that there. This here.
Boom. Each step shakes the ground around you.
Okay, so
If you
first
had
off,
little
can you
cups of
repeat-
water, they ripples.
So there's us, and is the gnome still in the box?
Yeah. She is
Okay,
hidden.
so
She is
there is
hidden.
no gnome. So the melee people are Sildar, Jerk, and Pubert.
Hmm.
So the first thing I'm going to do is spells. It's like in case something happens, I'm going to cast Bless on Sildar, Jerk, and Pubert.
Everybody right here. There's three. Okay. As you cast Bless, do you do anything else?
And I'm going to take some steps back.
Okay. It's the hill giant's turn. The hill giant hadn't actually noticed anyone. When he saw you conjuring magic, he did turn and look your way, though he continues moving. On his turn, over to here.
He's gonna eat the horses.
They're oxen. He grabs one. He lifts it up, and the harness that was attached. Let's see. You had it tied to the tree, if I remember correctly. So the harnesses would actually be on the cart. So he rips it as he pulls it up. The rope snaps. It was like the spider web to him, and he takes a bite out of the ox as it screams, and
Oh, no.
then dies. he is facing, because since you guys can't tell with these characters, I have to use these tokens now. He is still facing this way.
Hmm.
Oh, where's Sildar? Come on, I gotta get you on here, Sildar.
I'll claim Sildar.
His initiative roll actually was pretty high. Actually, Sildar would have gone next after it, and he would have said in between then, he would have gone right after Godwald, and would have said, just hushed to everyone, like, don't anger it. And he would have also moved away. Let's see, how far can he go? He can go like, oh, actually, you could do how it is, but that's what he says. That's what he says. You can decide where he goes if you want, and I can assign him to you. Controlled by Oddwald.
All right.
There you go. You can move him.
So we were frightened, and I chose to hide behind him.
Yeah, everyone was frightened.
I would have him not move and prepare the dash action for if something bad happened.
Okay. Then in the next order would be Sparkle Gem. You are hidden in your crate.
Yes. And I'm going, let's see here, carrying the crate. How much did you say it weighed?
It's 5 pounds. It's pretty
Okay,
light.
that's nothing.
It's a magical item.
It's a box.
It's a box, but remember, if you do lift it off the ground, that's when the spell is broken.
And there is no box.
Just stay in the box. He noticed magic last time.
I mean, but the second it touches the ground again, it becomes magical again.
It would cast the pass without trace, so it's going to work like the hiding action.
Okay.
So you roll another stealth check.
Yeah, you'd roll another stealth check.
Yep.
Right,
Which is
stay put.
easier or harder based on if the thing knows right where the box is.
Mm-hmm. It would be almost impossible to get some kind of like advantage on that roll.
Yeah, I would just stay in the box.
Yeah, I'm just going to chill and hide in my box.
That's probably smart.
Wait a minute.
If that's is that your actions? Are you good? Do you have anything you can prepare in the off chance that somebody's like, hey, goblin, hey, giant, over here?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to stay chilling and hiding in my box.
All right. And Pubert, you're also woken up by this lumbering beast that has taken a snack out of this goblin, and also who's now gone. And this tree as well is on his, he's taken as a club.
I will just kind of watch in stunned silence, mouth agape, as he walks by. Just kind of that Dirk daring.
All right.
I'll prepare a flee action. I mean,
the dash action. There should be like flee when you're frightened, right?
Hubert is
Like bonus adrenaline kick.
dashing at times.
And that leaves Talison's turn.
Well, I'm still under the cart.
You're still under the cart.
Do you speak giant?
I don't.
Does anyone speak giant?
No.
No.
The giant does.
Well, the giant speaks giant. Yeah.
I can
If you
speak
give me-
common,
If you give me
druidic,
10
elvish.
minutes,
If you give it
you
10
give me
minutes,
100,
If he's
you give me
just heading out-
100 rounds.
give me 100 rounds and I'll speak to this giant.
If he's
Yeah.
just heading out, I think it's a good idea to let him be and not try to talk.
I'm
to
just,
him.
yeah, I'm gonna stay under the cart because I don't think he's even. He wouldn't have seen me. But he ate one of our oxen.
Just means we're a little slow.
He's still holding it in his other. In one hand, he has a tree that your other goblin was tied up to, slumped over his shoulder. And the other hand, he just got the oxen. He bit into it. It screamed and died. And he's still facing the other way. If anyone wants to roll me a perception,
Oh, sure.
everybody gonna look at what this goblin is doing. No one has yet. Taliesin was the one I was looking for because it was his turn. I should have said, but
I can do that.
even with an 8, you understand. It's plain to see that this giant is not
I know.
particularly interested in you. Or you're 12 there after the 8 roll
Yeah.
4. It's fine.
I never rolled the. I mean,
that
the
was from
8
before.
was
Okay.
my last roll. Yeah.
All right. The 12. It's easy to see, especially with your bonus on this. It's simple. It would have been beating a 5. That the giant is not concerned with any of you. He is walking.
Alright.
He is taking a stroll in the woods, and he happened to pound some snacks.
He is going the direction that
He
we
might
need
actually
to go,
be in a
so-
decent mood because he found some snacks.
All right. Well, sweet. So, but I don't want to
Smile
say
on his
anything
face.
yet.
Okay.
Not well. I don't want to say anything while he's still in earshot. Also, well, I'll wait to say it when we're not in combat, so necessarily, right?
No, I'm just doing you guys in order because you could be.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Am I able to whisper to the? Because everyone is somewhat would near
yeah,
me.
Sparkle
and I'm
Gem's near you.
facing-
Sparkle Gem and Jerk could hear you if you wanted to whisper to him.
I'm like facing this direction. So I just kind of want to like in a hushed tone say, guy, like everybody, he doesn't seem like he cares at all that we're here. We should just leave him alone. Also, is the goblin said anything or doing anything at all?
The goblin tied to the tree. He's
Yeah.
also terrified.
But he hasn't. He's not like. I mean, he can't obviously attack.
He's
or
tied to a
anything.
tree, and he just watched another goblin tied to a tree get eaten. He is quiet,
All right, good.
silent.
Possibly defecating.
Yes.
You know what? The goblin has wet himself. I was gonna do over a 15. He did not make it.
Nice. All right. So yeah. So I'm gonna at least say something to these two
Okay.
that he's not interested in us and we should let him go. Although he is going the direction that we need to go.
So
He's
hope-
kind of heading. He's kind of heading.
And He's also going there faster than we will be.
Especially
He's
with
not
the
really-
grass and-
and the trees really are.
At
I
least
guess
we'll know
when
where
they're
he's
when they're thick, it's like difficult terrain for him. But he doesn't
just
really
kinda-
notice them. It's just difficult terrain. It's not
He's just kind of
stopping
like
him.
aimlessly strolling.
Let's just see what happens.
And that would make it Jerk's turn. Leave your bow ready. Keep it ready.
And during that time, the ogre it has not tried to attack anyone in the party.
It moves farther away. Good
Alright,
call.
done.
If you want to keep line of sight, you may need to move.
How tall is this? brush?
You can see him over the trees. The tree canopy is about 20 foot tall, and he's like 35.
We'll go
So he is above it significantly.
Alright, that's what I do.
All right. And then Godwald, do you have one more turn before the Hill Giant's last turn here?
Don't cast
Prepare
magic.
dash.
Prepare your
I'm
dash.
just still like that thing is huge, man.
Mhm.
That is
Yeah. Again,
that is a big thing.
this is why I tried to give you some indicator
That
of
is,
this. That this giant
mean-
is this bugbear is about the size of you guys. His goblins are smaller than you. It's about the size of your gnome. And
like,
this hill
what-
giant
what-
is roughly about that big.
like in Bobman's name. What is that? My mind is just endless questions, and the
I mean, it
attack
looks
on
like-
Titan OP.
He just looks like he's, had a couple drinks. He's just, walking it off.
I mean,
At least his
you would-
character model.
you would know that his character model does look like that. Like you would know that he could eat anything. Like hill giants
yeah.
can eat
Anything.
mud and be
Anything?
just about. Like they literally, I think mud is on the list of things that they could consume if they wanted to. You might floss with the tree. But his next turn, he moves another 40 feet off in the direction he was heading, and he's off screen at this point.
All right.
So the hill giant is gone. The danger of combat is gone. You still feel the rumblings as he's moving away, but your danger is left.
We still have one oxen, right?
We do.
Yep.
So I would like to climb out from under the cart
All right.
and just kind of look around with like not really saying anything, but I kind of give everyone a look like, holy shit. But then say we should probably head off, but with one fewer oxen, we're going to be a little bit slow.
You're gonna be a bit slower.
If I turn into a draft horse,
I was actually going to ask, hey, you can turn into an oxen, can't you?
well, so technically it looks
Seen
like
an oxen?
I've seen it. Well, yeah, we've
Yeah,
seen
you've seen this oxen right here, right?
but
And you've
Turn into a
seen
hill giant and
seen
just
the
ride it.
horses. You've
according
seen
to
the horses of the other guys
yeah,
too.
according to the way that this actually works, I can turn into a direwolf, but not until like level 8. Like it's locked until level 8, even though I've seen it.
I got you because of the challenge rating.
Yeah, so I can turn into a draft horse, which will be quite a bit faster than the oxen. But I can maybe like pull us a little bit faster.
Okay. That's a good use of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're able to turn into
'Cause
it.
I'm-
You guys have your camp here. You've got a
So,
you've got
I'm
a
be horse.
goblin who is he already smelled bad. Like the cave smelled bad because these guys don't really do a lot of bathing. But now he smells worse. And he wet himself at the sight of one of his men being. I mean, he's like mildly ranked higher than the other ones, but like a goblin
Well,
over a
we
goblin.
also need to figure out, I guess, what to do with him because he's supposed to lead us to the castle, but Sildar wants us to take him to
To Phandalin.
Phandalin.
Is it on the way?
At this point, Sildar mentions he does say he's like that. He's like he really wasn't headed. I don't think he's headed straight for Phandalin, but it is kind of in the direction. If he hits the Tribor Trail, he might just start heading east on that trail.
So do we need to stop the giant?
He kind of just wants to go to Phandalin more so now. Like, if there is a giant there, maybe we can work with the townsfolk to
We
do
should
to
head-
do
yeah.
something.
We
But
should split the party.
well,
Never
We should
split
do
the
it.
party.
Uh,
I say that we just like, can we tie the goblin to like the side of the cart?
drag it behind the cart.
Well, not drag him, but like, can we tie him to the side so he's just kind of hanging there?
I mean, he'd only take like a D6 of bludgeoning damage every couple miles.
Let's not do that.
I'll just walk him.
You just walk. I mean, you guys kind of have to walk with the cart anyways, with all the stuff loaded on it.
Well, can I put him on one oxen and then ride on Taliesin?
Would
I was like,
Taliesin
Taliesin.
let you ride on him?
That's the question.
No.
I mean, because Taliesin, I think when you turn into an animal, you maintain your personality, but you have like
I
the
do
stats.
maintain my personality, but I have the stats of the animal.
Yeah, so he might not
Such
really
as
like
it
that.
is.
All right, well, I throw the goblin on the remaining oxen. I just walk beside it.
So the
Yeah, I
goblin,
just
the
feel
goblin
like
gets to
he'd be a
ride while the
little
rest
bit
of you
too-
walk. That's pretty funny.
I feel like you'd be a
Well,
little
I
bit
mean,
too heavy.
otherwise, I'm going to be dragging his ass.
I'm going to slow you guys down if I don't get on some. Like,
You can
Well,
ride on me. I didn't want him to ride on me because
There's
it's
room.
gonna be heavy.
I
You only
mean,
have
there's
5
room
foot
on the
less-
cart for the empty box
You're in your box in the cart still, aren't you? You can just stay there.
Well, you
with
could-
several
No, I guess
boxes,
yeah, you're in the box in the cart.
you
oh,
could be.
if I'm in the box, that works.
and you have
So yeah, I have
2
three-
boxes
There's-
stacked on top of that box.
just enough room for that box on top of the other ones, and you're riding inside of it. It does make it a little more difficult for the oxen and Tailson to pull it, just a little more. But it was already going to be a bit of a trek. Since you guys were concerned, and you mentioned this concern about the goblin, Sildar, says like, even if we get to Phandalin and everything's okay, and it didn't seem like he was headed straight there. He wasn't heading south enough. It's like we could probably throw the goblin in the town's, like jail cells. I'm sure there's something that like the town hall, and if we could do that, we could keep him there until we find our way towards the castle.
Okay, I'm actually gonna turn into a riding horse because that has more speed.
Okay.
So, but let me do my. I know I have a. Okay, here. Cool.
All right. So scary. I'm glad nobody attacked that hill giant. Its challenge rating is like,
Bad.
oh yeah, that would have been bad news. Challenge rating of 5. You guys would need a challenge rating of 1 at the moment.
Take all of us together are a 1.
Yeah, he's hit that club he made out of the tree. That would
have one-shot all of us.
Yeah, every single one of you.
For a couple of minutes, it's little kid bedtime.
Sure. If I'll just talk you through as we get towards Phandalin, and I'll catch you up when you get back. Is that okay? Oh, you guys, everybody need a break? CJ usually take a cigarette break.
I was going to go, say goodbye to the boyfriend for the night and such.
Okay, everybody good for a break then? We'll do
sure.
10 minutes? 15? 10? 10?
Works for me.
All right, 10 minutes. We'll see you guys at 9:23. I'll throw up the away screen. Survived the hill giant. I'm so proud of you.
I'm glad that no one just attacked it.
I was so afraid that Chris was going to do it. I was just like, oh my god!
Yeah.
I was like, oh no! Like, what did I done? I didn't just party wipe. I didn't want to party wipe.
We call this, where I come from, we call this strategy getting while the ettin's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could have been a little scary.
I'm gonna let my dog out real quick.
All right, I'll I got a bottle of water right here. But I'm gonna stand up and walk around a little bit. Stretch my legs.
No, so what's going on is that work has been
What is this audio I'm hearing? Bum 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 ba da bum bum. What is happening? Who do I mute to? Let's test it out. Well, they figured it out. Hmm.
Yep, love you. Okay.
Hello. Well, that was scary.
What?
I mean, I was afraid that Chris was going to attack it with his bow.
Why do you think I instantly said something? I was like,
I know.
no, we
He's
are
like,
not.
He's like, what's the
no."
range of my bow? I was like, oh God, I killed the party.
Right. I'm over
Happy
here.
Halloween. It's scary.
It's a hill giant. I'm a gnome. I'm their favorite snack. That's the way I see it.
Yeah,
Right.
if you were invisible, you'd have been safe.
I mean, the goblin was a snack. Like, the guy was like, huh, a goblin on a tree. Oh, I'm like, all right, that's what I'm doing. And you're like, I shoot an arrow at.
Okay.
You were like, I was just like, oh God, oh God, I killed the party.
Weren't the rogues supposed to have inspiration?
Technically, the way I was running inspiration was that it only lasts the session.
You mentioned it
And
last
I
time
gave
that we were in the
Godwald
cave.
what?
You mentioned it last time we were in the cave because she used her illusion and I did something. I don't remember what I noticed.
Yeah, I think well that would have been last session. So this session you wouldn't nobody would have had it. But I did give Godwald inspiration for retelling what happened the last time since I did not write up a
This summer.
yeah in a moment for it because usually I typically like writing up what happens and like who you talked to and stuff. But
I forgot to write down names, so I wasn't going to volunteer. I was like, homeboy Dwarf.
Dwarf.
Isn't he the one we got rescued next?
Gundren.
Gundren.
Gundren, dwarf. He's a dwarf. His name's Gundren. Let's see. He's the one he and his brothers are the ones who found the map to Wave Echo Cavern. Oh, I got some people coming back, so I'm gonna flip that screen back on.
All right, I think we're just waiting on Taliesin. I don't know people's names, so your character names are your names.
Yeah, you know what's easier for me to just call you your character names than stick to it. It's so nice. Godwald, are you? Oh, he's Oz is gone. I gotta tell him that he got inspiration for in the chat. I forgot to tell you that you got inspiration for retelling the events of the last adventure, the last session. So
Thanks.
I marked it on your sheet, but I forgot to say it earlier. So you are inspirational this session.
So our first captive died due to her environmental hazards.
Yes.
Always a great addition to any map.
The
And,
Wandering Hill Giant. Nobody really took a look at him. That's what I was kind of hoping. Like somebody, like the first person would be like, I want to like look at this thing and see if he's like get some descriptions of him or anything.
It defies description.
It was a giant. I mean, he was he had some markings, but maybe the next time you guys see
There was
a
nothing I
hill
had
giant,
met before.
you can see if it's a hill giant you've seen before.
And the next time I can have can speak giant up. Actually, what does this do? Oh, I understand it. I can't speak it, but still.
So I just realized Tristan changed his name again.
Oh yeah.
Untrained Eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you made it. He made it part of his post the last time.
I just put up the our first 3 sessions. They're exporting to YouTube now.
Oh, nice. That's cool. I'm the big enough nerd that I would go back and watch that.
I'll probably put it on sometime when I'm doing something else.
I'll just do it to try and remember what happened. Like, what happened in the last session?
Yeah, so they're going up on YouTube. They should be up in the next, I don't know, 45 minutes.
That's cool. We need to like set those to randomly post during the week or something.
Yeah.
Also, if we want to do any edits, I can do that.
Oh yeah,
That's cool.
feel free. I mean, if you're signed into the Punks, you've got access to download any of the videos you want.
Yes. Signed into the punks.
And I just uploaded them. We can, if you want to tell me what you want to go on the YouTube and send it to me, I can do a edited videos folder on YouTube as a playlist as well.
Okay. Are we waiting for Pew Bear?
Yeah, I hope he's able to join it. I guess I wouldn't even know if he is or
Yeah,
if he's
should
having
we,
issues.
Should someone ping Rocket Squid to say, "Hey, man, is this gonna work?"
Right? Like, are you there or is this broken? Like, anybody jump in the Just
I already got it.
Thank you.
He's
But
typing.
I think I told Jared. I don't think I told anybody else. I found a program.
Okay, cool, man.
Where I can
Okay.
do a virtual camera for when I play
Virtual
VR.
insanity.
Yeah.
So you can actually, like see me doing stuff in the VR world. I just have to get a green screen, get it all set up.
Hmm.
So that should be fun eventually.
Let's see.
There we go.
Should we delete one of our oxen?
That sound. I don't know.
You know
if
what?
that's even possible.
I could see if there's just a single oxen out of there. See if that's a thing I could do, because they are one character on that.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be super important in the time being, anyways.
So I hate to be that guy. I've probably got another half hour in me.
I totally understand.
Sounds about right.
Do you, all right. Well, I'll jump in since we're all back. So, Hail Giant ate one of the oxen and one of the goblins and made a tree club and walked on. He terrified everyone. And as soon as you all saw the massive creature, everyone was actually afflicted with the terrified status condition. But then he moved on, and luckily no one attacked him, so he didn't try to attack you back. He generally considered you too small to be of concern to him. And he was probably right. So as you guys are taking on your caravan ride to Phandalin across the rest of the day, you don't see it. You get down the goblin trail without incident. No more goblins coming up that way. You get to the location where you guys had the dead horses were. Somebody's come along and moved them out of the path. But they're kind of off to the side, rotting somewhere. And you guys continue moving along. You're able to move. I don't know the exact speed. Nothing of note really happens until a few travelers heading the opposite direction are coming down the Tribord Trail before you get to the branch on the trail for Phandalin. It's a couple gnomes. They're riding on some very large sheep and ram. And they just kind of travel on by you as they're heading out directions. Maybe one waves. You guys continue on from there, and you reach the fork that takes you south to Phandalin. And you arrive in the Prospector's town of Phandalin. Here. I've marked a couple things on the map. These are some items just in general that Godwald and Pubert would remember from their time living here. It has been 10 or 12 years. We don't remember if we decided how long exactly. Has been about 10 years, so you definitely remember where Barthen's Provisions was located. The Stonehill Inn is one of the buildings in the center of town, and the Townmaster's Hall were all there before, along with the town square. The yard, you have noticed that there are some new buildings that have come up as well. And up on the hill, there is a place called Presendar Manor.
Oh dear.
It was an old like estate that had been up there long before the town had started being rebuilt. It's rubble. So these are some of the areas that you remembered. It would be, it's about a day's travel. So at some point you guys stopped, rested, came back in. So everybody, if anybody, I think somebody used Bless, right? Your cleric did. Just go ahead and throw yourself a long rest so that you're back up to everything with everyone else.
Ooh, I get wild shape back. Well, I have 2 of them a day, but between short rests, but I get that back.
Would you use that again to
I guess I would have to
continue
use it
pulling
again
a cart?
to become a horse again. Yeah.
I mean, if
So
you
yes,
basically if you don't and you want to save it, you're tired of pulling the cart for everybody. We can just say that it takes you a little bit longer to get there, so that you guys.
That's fine.
Okay. So instead of you're arriving probably midday, a little before noon. Sun's not quite in center of the sky just yet.
Isn't high
You'd
noon
be.
yet.
It's not high noon yet. Yeah, it's not yet. And you're approaching from the north because this path you came down, Barthen's Provisions. Oh yeah, I guess there's also one other place that you would recognize from here, and that was where you used to live. I'll open that up. Make sure I got that marked. I have that marked here. I just want to make sure I mark it on the right place. Your family home was located. Say draw a line. Nope, that's not working. I'm on the wrong map.
Wrong layer.
Wrong layer. I can do it.
Why do we even have that layer?
I know, right? Why is this guy even trying anything?
Right next to the whatever this is.
Town Square.
No, this thing.
Oh.
It looks like maybe it's a well or something.
Someone needs to remember this. So from the job originally, it can't be the gnome. Well, Sildar's with you, so Sildar reminds you that the provisions were to be delivered to that all of these supplies would be delivered to Barthen's Provisions. So it would make a logical first place to stop.
All right.
If you guys want to stop there, but that's just what he suggests. You don't have to do that.
I
Seems fine.
say
Yeah, not a bad idea.
well, do we want to check in, drop off, like, get situated in a house, decide what we're willing to give back and what we're not?
I mean, we're gonna give them
I
the
don't
stuff
want
as
to give
part.
up my crate.
We're just gonna give them the stuff that was part of the job.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything
so
else
just
is
as
a different deal.
yeah, right. Just so as what you have as a reminder, there are some crates and provisions marked with the blue lion. There's all of the stuff that was Gundren's that is delivered, which Sildar would be pretty aware of. All right, he was there when you guys were loading up the supplies. That's all those mining supplies and food and stuff like that. Did I do that right? Piter Bottom?
Well-
Is that right?
It looks good.
All right, Piter Bottom.
And
The old Piter Bottom home.
Sildar would also know like what provisions were like his.
Yeah, what was in the cart. So he knows those things. But then you guys also have a few boxes. There would be a few more supplies that you would have gotten from the cavern. So we'll say like dried grain, stuff that maybe you could sell as provisions. You don't really have any cooking supplies, or I don't really think anyone has any cooking skills. So probably best to do that. And you guys personally picked up a few items. And the treasure chest was from a traveler that wasn't any of those things either. So that was your guys' stuff, plus whatever you looted from the goblins. Did anyone pick up the 3 gold teeth off the one? You got those? You can make sure those were in your inventory. I think those were worth like a gold piece each, so they're basically 1 gold.
I just have them marked.
You can keep them as teeth, or you could mark them as gold. They'll work either way. Just might be funnier if you throw some teeth down instead of gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And then your other supplies. That stuff's your guys, so you don't have to worry about turning in the frog statue or anything that didn't belong to anybody that you know of.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wasn't in it. The chest was not marked with the blue lion symbol.
So I want to. I guess. Are we stopping at Barthen's then?
part of the job.
So let's stop there. I'm gonna turn back into my half wood elf self.
All right. We come here to Barthen's Visions, which I think I accidentally deleted Barthen off of here. Let me go throw his image back on here.
Are we too late?
No, I actually picked this one. I thought it was funny because there's a tiefling and a gnome, and I was like, "What? There's a tiefling and a gnome? Like,
Yeah.
that's too good."
I don't have a tail or horns though.
Right, but I thought it was so funny. And I was actually just going to cover him up with a picture of Elmar. Whoops. Delete. Wrong layer. I'm always on the wrong layer. This is Elmar, owner of this. Yeah,
Woof.
yeah, he's not a pretty man. Yeah, you come to the mine. You guys are pulling up in Gundren Rockseeker's cart with a bunch of his supplies. Sildar is with you still, but he actually says he's gonna let you. If you guys are okay, he's gonna let you take care of divvying up the supplies and where you need to go. He's gonna go try to get established and find out what happened to Yarno Albeck and see if he can find any information about that. That's kind of his main mission here in town. It's really what he's coming to Phandalin for. So if you guys are cool with that, he'll go on his way.
All right. So
If no one's like, please stay with the Sildar, whatever.
I mean,
What-
do we
what-
just tell them that you sent us and give them the supplies?
All right, well, let's say here this. As you guys arrive, Elmar sees the cart. Sildar says, we're here to see Elmar Barthian, I think his name, Barthan. Barthian and deliver these supplies from Gundren Rockseeker. Elmar's been expecting them, although he does note to you guys that he's like, you guys are late, but I see that you're here. It looks like you're carrying a bit more than I was told, though. And I don't see Gundren. I was expecting him.
Does Gundren pay or not? Does Sildar pay us for the escort before he leaves?
Well, Sildar didn't have any money, and he told you that he could acquire a loan when he was in town, so no. But since he does say that, and Sildar is still here, and he hasn't left you guys yet,
yeah.
he'll just be he lets Elmar know Gundren's been kidnapped. Yeah, we're going to try and find out where Cragmaw Castle is from this goblin. In fact, I forgot you guys have the goblin.
We have a goblin.
Sildar wants to take the goblin to the town hall to lock him up. In fact, and so that's what he says. He's like, in fact, I'm going to take him there to lock him up right now. Can you point me in the correct direction? Yeah, Elmar says, first response it's like Gundren's been kidnapped. Oh, that's terrible news. I like Gundren. He's a nice guy. He's been here before, and I actually expected him and his brothers to be back. It's been about a 10-day or more since I've seen them. I'm kind of expecting them to come back and resupply in the next week or so. But if Gundren's been kidnapped, his brothers would definitely want to know that. And he actually looks to Sildar before he leaves, saying, what are you going to do about it? Let's see. He said he's going to try and figure it out. He's going to take him in. Yeah, so that's what he says. And then he goes, all right. He's got a couple hands, a couple aides with him, two younger men who start asking which supplies are the ones they need to take.
Anything without the blue lion crest.
Okay, so you
That's
guys,
not true.
Well, and
Some of that
also-
stuff is pillaged
you can just direct
and
him.
then reclaimed.
Yeah,
let's
this
just
one.
move them. Let's just give them one thing at a time.
There you go.
Just carefully give them the stuff that we were assigned to. And why does this crate say empty on it?
That's not great.
No one would really see it as long as it's right
Who
there.
said that?
So it sounds like Godwald starts handling supplies with them. Varthan's got what's the equivalent of a clipboard, piece of wood and some paper on it, and he's going through and marking things off as they're pulling them down, opening the crates and checking things out. Notices that it's a little shy on the salted meat, but he understands the trouble you guys have been through and the fact that you also rescued Sildar, as it was described earlier. I'm going to say it was described earlier. And he kind of goes through, and he gives you guys the agreed upon 50 gold for delivering the supplies.
Nice. So we get what, 10 each?
Oh, we don't get that.
Yeah, you guys do. That was your job. And El-
So we get 10 gold.
Elmar
apiece
was 10 gold pieces apiece. So go ahead and mark that on your character sheets. Elmar was instructed to pay the people who delivered it.
Oh,
then.
nice.
Yeah.
So we
So
also
Gundren's been here in the past, right? Like he's found the mine in the area, and this is the closest town. They've been to the mine, and Elmar knows him, and he's talked to him before. He was expecting you guys with the supplies.
So this is a thing that's been happening before.
Finding the cave, finding the
mine.
wave echo
Like-
cave.
Investigating the cave.
Yeah, Gundren and them. As he's talked to you, he said he likes the dwarf. He said, "Are you talking to Elmar about this? Is that what you're asking him, or are you asking me?"
I would like to ask Elmar. Has Sildar left already?
He was interested. He wanted to get the goblin locked up,
Okay.
and he's trying to establish himself in the town.
Okay,
So
I-
he's kind of set you guys off with the supplies to let you do that. He did note that he was here with him. I'll let him know. He handled this interaction for you at the start, but he has taken the goblin and he's taken him down to the town hall.
So because I just basically want to talk to him and say, your friend, the dwarf, we plan to go find him. We need to figure out where this Cragmaw Castle is. So do you have any information or anybody that you would know that could point us in the correct direction? We plan to ask the goblin that we had brought, but as we have found, they aren't very intelligent and don't always give the best directions.
Yeah.
It's a goblin.
So Barthen, tells you, he's like, actually, I don't know where Cragmaw Castle is. It doesn't sound familiar. You might find some more information if you went down to the Stonehill Inn. People go there. It's a restaurant as well as an inn. People eat, and you could ask around. You might also go to the Miners Exchange. There are some people there that kind of have a general good idea about some things that are in the area. There's also been a lot more adventurers in our town lately. So if you're asking around, you might have a better shot with some of them. No one's really mentioned it to me though.
I want to ask him,
He really
Alright,
he really does seem concerned about Gundren though, and he asks you guys like, so are you guys you're planning to rescue him? Because I really think the mine was gonna help us here in Phandalin to
I want to ask
become
him,
more prosperous.
We do plan on helping him. We just need to find where to go first. So thank you for the information, and I will search those areas for anything that we can gather there.
Well, I really appreciate it. I can't really offer you guys anything except for I do have all of my wares and supplies. So if you ever need
What sort of-
anything for
What sort of building is this? Is this a warehouse or more of a general store or both?
more of a general store, it's called Barthen's Provisions. He tells you, he's like, this is my shop, Barthen's Provisions. It might not look like a lot, but you'll find no better supplied, provision shop in town.
I'd like to get the spell components to get a new owl because it's mostly just normal stuff.
So basically, Barthen's gonna have anything that's less
It
than like
says 10
25
GP worth
gold.
of charcoal, incense, and herbs.
He will probably have those supplies. Let me double check here on our books and information. Information tables, adventuring gear.
since he seems pretty familiar with Gundren, I want to ask him, was there anything that he was dangerous about the mine? Are we the first group of people that have been hired to kind of come help out with this, or have you seen them bring other people on that just disappeared?
I mean, if he sells, if they have the stuff that's in the basic kits here, then this should be fine.
Yeah, I think you should be here on your charcoal. I don't really have it here, but we could say that because it's not a super expensive thing. And if you're looking for charcoal like out of a fire, you can definitely help you there. Anything that's over, it's 25 gold and up, he probably doesn't actually have. So keep
No,
that as a
just-
note on this list of what you're seeing. So like he does not have a spyglass or a poison vial or acid vial. He's
Pretty much
probably
what
he's
they-
probably even he's not going to really have the arcane focus. He's going to have more stuff for the kind of things that you're finding in your adventuring pack. So if you're on here, let me know. Maybe I'll roll. Maybe it's your lucky day and somebody just came in and sold him something.
I just want to immediately convert the money I just got for this job into the components that I need to get another owl. And
Okay.
basically break even on this part.
I would say yeah, you could do that. You go ahead, mark it on your supplies.
just-
Your 10 gold
so I'll
for
just-
charcoal, herbs. He's gonna have food and herbs, and then the other stuff for your 10 gold. So mark your 10 gold off. You basically turn around and give Marvin the money he gave you right back.
I was just going to mark it off the cost when I cast the spell. It's just me accounting for the components.
Mark it off and just add a piece of equipment that says like familiar bindle, and we'll call it that. It's a pack of all the herbs and the charcoal that you need for that.
Equipment.
And then he's trying to tell you guys anything. He's like, yeah, if you need oil for any of your, if anyone has a lantern or a lamp.
Can I buy the grappling hook?
Yeah, I think he would have that.
It's only two.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Two
It's the
gold
kind of thing
pieces.
you would need if you were exploring a cave or going down into some of the mines in the area.
So minus 2.
And 2 gold. He's happy when people spend money in his store, and he tells you a little bit more about how his business has been going. And in general, it's the best for him. It's not so great for everybody else in town.
Well, I did want to ask.
Custom item, familiar components, worth 10 GP, weighs about 5 pounds.
Cool. What were you gonna ask, Chris?
I wanted to ask him since he seems kind of tight with Gungeon, if the mine has been dangerous. Are we the first group of adventurers they've brought on to help out? Have people maybe gone disappearing? I just kind of want to get a feel for if we're the first people who've come here. with
Okay. Roll. He volunteered the other information, but he might not volunteer this immediately. What's your charisma like? Just generally.
My charisma is 14 plus 2.
Plus 2. So roll me a charisma check. I'll tell you how much he'll tell you about his personal relationship. Damn.
Bam.
Okay. He likes you.
Only person.
He likes
He
that he
is-
spent money.
Yeah, he's really happy that you guys are spending money with him, and he tells you he's like, I'm really excited about the idea about this cave. Gundred's talked to me about it. That's why he told me to expect you guys. He hasn't hired anyone else to come out here. I think you guys are the first group, and I believe he was hoping to when he went to Neverwinter to find a group of people who would be able to help him and his brothers. It definitely seemed like a dangerous place, and that's why he was trying to get a party of people who would be able to help out. Rough and tumble group who, strong, looking like yourselves. It just really feels good about you. Just compliments you a little bit,
Kind of strokes your hair a little bit.
Yeah.
He's smiling. He's smiling at Rick. He's like,
Now, did I get-
you guys really are.
Leave him
Can I
alone.
get another disguise?
Leave him
a
alone.
disguise kit here, or I don't see it on the list.
That's not the kind of thing he's going to have here in the general store.
Okay.
That's essentially it. Barthen's like the general store, but for adventuring, right? Like, so he's got more than just food, like a grappling hook and rope, and oil for flasks. You could buy. he would, I would, since it's a weapon, it's not really the kind of thing he carries. But he would have like pack animals and a cart and stuff like that. He does note that he's like, he's like, I noticed you guys still have a lot of supplies on there. And I see the Lion Shield Coster. Are you delivering supplies for them as well? He's talking to Jerk now. He loves Jerk.
I just tell him the story. I say we had to go save Sildar from a band of goblins and a bugbear, and this is all the stuff they'd hoarded for passersby. So we were actually gonna deliver to them and see if maybe they wanted to give us a reward or something. Do you have any ideas that might
Yeah.
be mutually beneficial for us?
He can actually point you to where the Lion Shield Coster is. If that's what you're saying, like where you deliver these things to. And he thinks like he's like, I'll tell you what. He's like, it's actually been really tough for us to be getting supplies around here. Bandits have been raiding caravans as they've been going through, so they'll probably be very thankful that you have these. I bet you play your cards right, they might pay you for delivering their stuff. And the fact that you actually brought it all the way here to Phandalin, that's going to win you some bonus points. He does note that about the bandits, like, is that the town in general, like, doesn't seem to be doing particularly well because there's a group in town who has been kind of, well, shaking down some of the locals, and we're a little concerned that these guys might be the bandits that are raiding these caravans. And it tells you about a group called the Red Brands. It's like, I'll tell you what, it's like, if you guys see these around, be careful. They're trouble. We've had some issues with them. They've been flouting the town master's authority. And since Gundren trusted you to help him in the caverns, you guys must be pretty tough. If you want to do something about them and help us out, I bet the town master would be pretty thankful. They hang out down at the tap room, the sleeping giant tap house, and he can kind of point you in the direction of that as well. Nice 20 roll, by the way. Barthen's just spewing information out.
Right.
He's giving you everything at cost. Like, he's like, this is like this material. He's like, this is. I'm going to charge you this. He's not charging you more money. He likes you.
So
You
asked
brought
him
the
if there was
supplies.
any
You
way
seemed
to
friendly with
identify
his friend Gundren. What?
I asked him if there's any way to identify the red brands when we see them, just to know who to look out for. And
Every single one of them wears a red cloak. I don't know if they're trying to represent a group, but if they're just trying to represent and flaunt their how dangerous they are, but they were pretty easy to spot.
well, I don't know if you noticed, but there's actually 5 of us here. You can't see one of them, so we'll get you back. If nothing else, we'll get some supplies back for you.
He's like, well, if you guys find evidence that it was the Red Brands, like jumping some of these caravans, I would, I think that the town master would be very grateful. I would go talk to him. He might offer you a reward for running them out of town.
Okay. Well, first things first, I'd like to take this stuff over to the who they belong to.
The Lion Shield Coster. How do you guys feel? He's kind of had his very excited little chat with Jerk. If you guys want to talk to him anymore, or if now's a good time.
Since I also bought something, I'd probably be listening to most of this.
And he kind of gives you some direction here.
Well, I think we should take the other stuff back to.
I agree with the druid. This guy is not going to be the last person to mention the symbols on these boxes.
So let's head that way.
That's a good idea.
Oh man, he's even. Oh, whoops. He's Arthen's even told you, like, just came up in conversation that he lives right behind here. He's really proud of his shop, and he's told you all about it. So, where Parthen lives.
Do we have the ability to see the map of the town again?
Oh, I
top.
came over to it. I'm sorry. I came over to it. I forget. I gotta bring you
Wrong
guys over to
layer.
it. Nope. Here, Vandalin.
Okay.
And
so
so
We're like right
let's
here.
see. He has told you about the Sleeping Giant the Sleeping Giant tap room,
And
and that text is gigantic. So I'm gonna make that a little smaller.
where did the marked boxes go?
And those go to the Lion Shield Coster, which is here.
And there was also a
I see nothing.
there was also a miners guild or something.
Yeah, he told you about where the Phandalin Miners Exchange is, which is here.
And his house is right
Assuming-
behind provision.
Assuming
Yeah,
that's-
it's right behind the provisions. Yeah, it's right there. He's like, I live here, I work here, I love Phandalin. He's like, I really want to see this town succeed because it's like when the town succeeds, I succeed, and he's really encouraged you to go talk to the town master. He's really hoping that you guys can do something about these punks shaking down all the locals.
All right. Well, what do you guys think? Do you want to go take the stuff to the Lion Shield Coster first, or go talk to the town master?
Let's go take this stuff to the Lion Shields Coster so we're not having to worry about carting it all around.
All right.
That'll make everything else faster.
Oh, on top of that, he was supposed to collect the cart, but as he sees that you have more to deliver, and he totally, absolutely believes that you guys are out to help and the town, he's like, in the meantime, until you rescue Gundren, he's like, you guys can take that cart and you just got to take care of those oxen that oxen singular, and so he's gonna let you keep the cart. He was gonna take it, but 20 on your charisma roll.
Perfect.
So you guys want to go to the Lion Shield Coster? Sounds about what I heard.
Yep.
I gotta. So I've hit my hard cutoff, so I gotta disappear.
All right, man. Is there anything in general that you want us to do? Or do we want to take and quit for the evening, or how are you guys feeling about this? What does everybody want to do?
Look at this World of Warcraft building.
I know, right?
You
You guys want to take the break here, or does Pubert? How do you feel about everybody still going, or?
I say we break here. I mean, if one of us leaves.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Is that good?
Guys, I'm hoping for I'm hoping this is the last day like this where I've got to be doing 3 things at once.
Hey man,
Dude,
it's
what-
cool.
The characters
You guys are basically, I can give you like a rundown too. You guys are in a pretty okay area. Phandalin's going to be a great town for you to find more things to do in the area. So, that's there. And you have learned about a threat in town as well. So there's lots of stuff that can go on in here. So I think for that's a pretty decent reason if one of us has to go, then maybe we all do if everyone's cool.
I'm cool with it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want him to miss out on anything that can come back and we found out a bunch of information or something and he doesn't know what's going on.
Valid.
Well, Joe, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for going through today. I know you're working off to the side while you're doing stuff, but I'm sure we all appreciate you participating while you could here.
Definitely.
Yeah, thanks. I'll go ahead and disconnect. I'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Okay, peace, buddy.
See you.
And I'll leave you guys on this screen here. This is the Lion Shield Coster. At least I hope so. Maybe I don't think I took you to the wrong place. Yep, I took you to the right place.
Familiar.
The Lion
it
Shield
looks like a
Coster.
building somewhere
It
in
is.
Northrend.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
like, there's only so many fantasy buildings that I could find images for. So you know, you might see this
Pretty sure
building
I brought
again.
You look at
This is
some
the
kind
building
of
I walked
guild
into
house
with like
for-
half a dozen candles, I think.
But so I just kind of wanted to have something to show you guys. Why not? In the future, I'm probably gonna run out of fantasy-esque buildings that I can look up and find.
Nice.
So
That's
you'll start having to build more of them in your imagination, and I'll have to spend more time describing them as well. But then it's
Use my imagination.
good times. Yeah, a little bit.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I'll see you guys, I guess, next Monday.
Yep.
Nope.
Absolutely.
Except I'm glad
Well-
nobody attacked the hill giant. I'm really glad
Yeah,
you're
me
all. I'm
too.
really glad you're all still alive.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Same.
You guys
That
did not
roll
want to piss
was,
that thing off.
That roll was below average.
I'm
You didn't hit
That's fine.
1,000 there.
There we
That's
go.
below
Hey,
average.
average. I mean, you're probably going to with a algorithm. What's running averages on the die.
That's a little better.
But yeah, no, that thing would have slaughtered you guys.
Yeah, that would have one-shot all of us.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
it is a
Chris's
strength-
roll about the same, but more crits in there. I see.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's
It is a strength of 21. It gets to make it gets to make 2 attacks with a club. And
that was a good one.
it has a +8 to hit with a 10-foot reach. It moves 40 feet. Like, you couldn't even run away from it.
Yeah. That would have just destroyed us.
It's huge, so it's 2 sizes larger than you, which means it could trample you. Oh, and then 3 sizes larger than Sparkle Gem.
Yep. Which means I can dodge in and out, no problem.
Yeah, you can walk right under it. That's it. Wouldn't have
Look
been
at
an
it
issue.
fly.
Yeah, rough. Man, if it picked up a rock, just like a boulder out of something and thrown it at you, it would have been rough. Probably could have thrown the corpse of the oxen that it was eating. But it was just hungry. As it was walking. That's what it does. It walks places, it eats. You're too small for it to concern. If you had talked to it, even, it probably would have just enraged it. It would have been like, "Are you trying to make fun of me?" Like, it would have
I was
been
gonna say it's probably
dangerous.
not very smart.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
even trying to like talk to it would have pissed it off.
I think the direwolf's smarter than the thing. Like, it's like animal level intelligence, but it still can speak, which is weird, right? Like, how does it have such a low intelligence, but it still can speak a language?
I ask that about P-Bear every day.
But
Yeah, it was dangerous, but I'm glad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely glad that we just like avoided doing anything.
Yeah. And I've got so like at this point I have like 15 different encounters in and around the area built up. So like pretty much anywhere you guys go, I'm more or less prepared for any of the stuff you want to do. It also gives me more time to like build on each thing and make it more interesting. So I spent like my days off this past week like working on
careful,
all of
man.
this. So
That's
I am totally excited for you guys to just find an entirely different route and go an entirely different direction.
Me too.
Or just like somehow stumble on like the lost mine. Like there it is, we found it.
Well, I think
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
we probably should go try to at least rescue the
Dungeon.
dwarf dude.
Yeah. And his map at the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, cool. Fun. It was good times. I guess I'll click off on the stream if everybody wants to say good night to the internet.
Good night, internet.
All right. Good night.
Bye.